President Trump is sending U.S. troops to Portland, Oregon, the city that I love, the city that I live in, because he says it's a war zone. He said it's like living in hell. So I just want to show you what it's like in Portland right now. Let's go on a little tour. Wait, what is that? What's that sound in the background? Is that war? Nah, it's just a dude shredding for a goose. Let's take a look downtown at the Portland Saturday Market, where all the hippies come to sell their hippie stuff. Over here, we have the world-famous Voodoo Donuts. The lines are always crazy unless you come at like 3 in the morning. My personal favorite is the ODB, which is a donut pretty much covered in candy bars. I know for a fact you would love that one. All right, let's keep walking downtown. It's Saturday, so, you know, it's kind of chill. Oh, is that crime?
Okay, why did nobody tell me that Squeezy Jibs lives in Portland? And also, I almost went to the Saturday market yesterday. We could have met up, done a little collab. Anyway, okay, so the reason that I'm sharing this video is one, because my kid was like, oh my God, Mom, you have to watch Squeezy's video. We could be neighbors. But two, it's because in response to Donald Trump calling Portland, Oregon a war zone with fires everywhere and making weird claims that like Antifa and domestic terrorists are attacking federal buildings, that's not happening. There has been a mass response from Portlanders to show people what's actually happening in our city. I'm not going to out my friends IRL by sharing their Instagram and Facebook posts from yesterday, but people were making videos, putting up photos, showing what they were doing in Portland and how absolutely run-of-the-mill, chill, normal life is in Portland, Oregon. It was a beautiful sunny day. My commentary yesterday when I made my initial video after all of this got whipped up right in the press was nothing is fucking going on here. We're doing the things that we normally do on a Saturday. Going to the Saturday market like Squeezy did, maybe participating in the open drum circle down there. Maybe going with our kayak club on a Saturday tour because the weather was gorgeous. Maybe just like getting blazed and watching a movie with friends or taking our dog for a walk. Going to local football games, playing ultimate frisbee in the park. Like, Portlanders were just doing what Americans all over the country were doing, trying to live our lives, and the regime is threatening and intimidating us for no reason. Now, just a little bit ago, Oregon's Attorney General Dan Rayfield announced that Oregon has filed a lawsuit to block the deployment of troops to our city and to our state. And in that 41-page filing, the Attorney General says that Donald Trump is attempting to put U.S. military members in Portland, Oregon, because there have been nonviolent protests at the ICE facility on Macadam Avenue that consist of less than 30 individuals. And I'll keep saying it, Donald Trump paints the kids down there as terrorists. He says that they're like Antifa, violent extremists. Y'all, they are kids down there with signs and bubbles and megaphones chanting anti-war poetry. Like, the people who are causing violence at the ICE facility are ICE agents. The people who are instigating and escalating are ICE agents. The ICE building is very small. Right next door to it is an elementary school. That school had to relocate because there has been so much chemical warfare going on, 100% from ICE. The playground, the school garden are so contaminated. There are so many unexploded pepper balls on the playground that like the kids couldn't continue to go to school there. ICE did all of that. And right across the street here, this is all a residential neighborhood. People live here and their neighborhood has been full of chemical agents night after night because ICE has been starting shit. Portland police in sworn testimony in court said it is ICE who is the instigator. It's not the 24 kids who are down there exercising their First Amendment rights. And also, let's be clear. Yeah, there's been some graffiti on the side of the building. Months ago, they tried to drag some logs in front of the driveways like a demonstration. Y'all, ICE are such a bunch of snowflakes, they wouldn't last one goddamn day in France with farmers backing up with dump truck after dump truck of manure. They freaked out because there were like logs in front of the driveway. That's a justification for sending the military in, making American cities and American citizens a U.S. military target. Please understand that is what Trump is trying to do. In a peaceful city where we are just trying to live our lives, Donald Trump and the American Gestapo, known as ICE, they are starting shit here. And it's so important to have regular, everyday, ordinary Americans in whatever city is currently being targeted by the regime, right? It was LA, and then it was DC, and then it was Chicago, and Trump has failed in all of those places. And now it's Portland, Oregon. And Memphis, how are y'all doing? Because I know that he's giving y'all grief as well. It's so important that we document what's actually going on here. I know that Governor Tina Kotek told Donald Trump over the phone yesterday that, like, what you're being told is not what's happening. And Trump was like, oh, the federal buildings are under attack and there's fires everywhere and it's a war zone. She was like, no, there's nothing going on here. What's happening is there's like 24 kids laying flowers in front of the ICE facility on a nightly basis, and ICE comes out and brutalizes them. That's it. That's all that's happening. So it's really important that we're seeing Portlanders putting up photos and videos being like, here's the reality of the situation. You cannot believe a single thing that the regime is saying. They're lying to you. Do not believe the rhetoric. Believe the people. As long as we're talking about that, I want to actually show you what it looks like at the ICE facility. A little bit more of Squeezy's video, but then also for my Senator Ron Wyden. Both of these were taken yesterday at the ICE building, where Donald Trump says that there is a war going on, that it's all on fire, and that he needs to send in, I think he's trying to send in 200 troops, which again, okay, like against 1 million people in Portland. Yeah, okay, good luck with that. But also, like, just a huge waste of taxpayer dollars, hugely disrespectful to members of the Oregon National Guard to use them in that way. But let's see what it is that Donald Trump thinks necessitates sending in the National Guard.
And there it is. The war zone outside of the ICE facility in downtown Portland. And honestly, like, I don't want to get any closer to film because the last time, the person in the chicken suit would not stop giving me free cookies.
Thanks for that update, my dude. However, a little clarification. Those protesters weren't actually at the ICE facility protesting ICE. If you've not been down there, if you're not from here, the Tesla dealership is right next door to the ICE facility. And so the protests often overlap, but I believe those folks were part of the Tesla takedown protest that still happens on a regular basis. Because at about the same time, I think that video was filmed, a friend of mine went down to go see if they could join any protest that was happening at the ICE building, and there was nobody there. My Senator Ron Wyden actually went to document yesterday as well, and his footage seems to corroborate that. Nothing. Nobody there. Later in the day, there was a silent prayer walk where interfaith leaders laid flowers down. But other than that, this is what the ICE facility looked like on Saturday. Trump described this as a war zone. What do you think? Yeah. You can see the residential neighborhood here across the street. All of these people have been gassed on a daily basis for months. You can see where the school was, and back to the ICE building. Keep it up, y'all. Corporate legacy media is not going to cover accurately what's happening here or in any city in this country. The rhetoric from the regime is going to be straight up disinformation that is meant to help Trump justify his authoritarian expansion. It will not be the truth. It is up to us, regular, everyday Americans, to tell our neighbors, to tell our fellow countrymen and women what is happening. We all have a measure of responsibility now, no matter how small our social media reach, whether it's your Instagram or your Facebook, whether it's just texting your family chat group, whether it's posting in your alumni groups or contacting, like your Trumper relatives. Being willing to take a risk and extend yourself and communicate with them. We've all got to make sure that people know what's really happening, that what Trump is doing is profoundly unlawful, it's profoundly un-American, and we are not going to allow the disinformation, the propaganda to proliferate. We will be countering it with the truth. Also, don't forget, October 18th, nokings.org.